his head, and there he goes. Abyss gonna clean him up.
Olaf goes down. Everyone's just gonna line up here for Lazzy. He's gonna find himself the Quadra. Give it to him. Pentakill.
Priestley with the quad feed.
Gets the ace. Available just spin to win all over.
That game was insane.
Saints Nation, thanks for sticking around. We're finally getting underway here with our fourth match of the night, where we do have the University of Ottawa up against St. Clair College, which is looking like it's probably going to be our closest match of the day. C21 versus C28, I do believe, in regards to this matchup. Both these teams neck and neck. Of course, University of Ottawa, one of our fellow Ontarians or Canadians here in this tournament. Good to see him. We have played up against them in a bunch of other esports events, esports leagues. I got totally denied there by the plane. Observing 101, don't go through the wall. Anyway, we're gonna get started here with University of Ottawa, St. Clair Saints here on Lijiang Tower. On the tank line for University of Ottawa, we have Copper, Tundra. Then on DPS, we have Norman and Biggs. Down the support line, we have Quib, and we have Twig to start things off. And of course, the hometown squad here for St. Clair. You've got Apostle and G-Scales there on the tank line. We have Kale available on DPS and Arjunk and 9 on support as we hop on into what's looking like a one-team fight here for St. Clair, going towards the control point right here, right now. Kale and G-Scales on points, ready to go. Arjunk alongside them, and they're going to get the first capture in this one. Kind of interesting. First time we're seeing Lijiang Tower here in this tournament. It's not a disliked map from what I understand, but there's just been other options that people have just enjoyed just a little bit more.
My ultimate ability is charging.
Just a matter of seeing where the Ottawa squad is going to attack. Of course, available in stealth mode right now, so he can sneak up right on the support line, get a little bit of an open fire, but did not have a teleporter available. He is going to get mowed down rather quickly in that scenario. A little bit unusual. Normally, you always have one of those teleporters down and ready to go. Apostle is going to fall, so it's going to be up to Kale and G-Scales and Arjunk to try and hang on tight here. 9's right around the corner as well. Does have the Coalescence coming through as well, I do believe. Forced to kind of fade its way out of there. But it's not going to be long for this world. As we can see, the charging Ottawa squad is going to make things extremely difficult. Apostle going to stall out for a little bit more extra points, but not going to be enough to hang on to that one. Not versus 6 anyway. So, Ottawa going to get their first control here of this first round. This bridge right here can make or break a push if you can get pushed off of it. That being said, though, no contest. And Saints are actually going to find themselves a player up in this one. That is going to be the Shatter. Nice shot there from Copper, actually, to charge on through and find himself a double kill with that charge. Nicely done. Takes care of Apostle and 9. That being said, though, this is still a rather close fight, as Kale finds himself a double, and Available is going to find one more. So this fight is actually going to end up going into St. Clair's favor. They're going to grab that one, leaving Ottawa at the 33% mark. Take a look and see as we are on the other bridge states where the Ottawa squad going to go. They're going to take the safer way around through the buildings, a little bit more crammed. We do see Available right in the background there. See if we can hop on in with him as he hits that EMP and gets 4 or 5 players on the side of University of Ottawa, absolutely shutting down any sort of ability usage from that entire squad. So only using the EMP and the Primal Rage there from Apostle as well. Going to clean up that fight, and there is still 2 ultimates on board. Arjunk does have a sound barrier for protection, and we've seen how deadly Kale can be here with the Death Blossom, especially if he hits the timing right in a close quarters area. There's not very many people who I think can really stun him up here, so he may have free reign. Just looking for his opportunity. Spin to win right through them. Takes 2, takes 3, and G-Scale eats the Graviton from Tundra as well. Absolutely perfect scenario, perfect team fight. What a way to finish off game 1, or round 1 for game 1, rather. Like I was saying, just absolute best case scenario there. Kale completely left alone. No real stuns available there for that Ottawa team, which just let Kale go absolutely nuts. And then Sure, Tundra did have the option. Fire it off that Graviton to try and gobble up everybody, and the Saints bring them all close together. G-Scales, nah, not happening. Not today. Just taking that away, of course, with that Diva defensive matrix, being able to gobble up any sort of projectile. Beautifully done from him. Saints going to change things up here for this next one. G-Scale's going to take away, or get off the Diva, rather, and it's going to go over to the Sigma. And we do see a little bit more of a defensive but spammy composition coming out here, as we see Bailable going to be picking up the Junkrat this time by, and in these close quarters, these small hallways of this next Lijiang map, having somebody who could just constantly just pop out AoE damage like this with these grenades is absolutely wonderful. Just being able to sit safe from afar. That being said, though, a little bit of a rough one. Tundra making the switch over to the Roadhog, find himself a double kill to start this one off. Relying a lot on the damage from Bailable, but maybe not quite finding enough of it quick enough. They do blow up Twig, but that is going to be the end of this fight, and it's going to be Tundra and the rest of the side of University of Ottawa getting first capture here on this second round. Saints going to make their way through. That's going to be the Coalescence coming out here from Queb, and it's going to make Saints go all the way on the retreat. Has to watch out for the flank from Tundra, who is going to find 9. So it's going to send Saints packing all the way back. Bailable still kind of stuck up on the high ground. He's a little bit separated from the rest of his team. That being said, though, he has turned this into a 5v5, just spamming those grenades. So the Saints, in theory, could make their move, but I like the May wall coming out here from Biggs. Does make a solid jump to make sure that that didn't end up being the proper 5-on-5, especially since reinforcements for St. Clair would have been closer. Now, this amplification matrix coming out here from 9 is going to make things extremely difficult for the side of Ottawa, especially with Bailable just constantly pumping out damage through it. That being said, though, Biggs is going to finish off Bailable after getting hooked by Tundra, but that one pick for the 6 for St. Clair, Saints going to take that one every time. Going to flip this one back over. Granted, University of Ottawa got themselves 63% on the completion board, on the scoreboard right now. And they have a lot of ultimates around the corner, which is going to be very scary for St. Clair to deal with. But it very well could be turned around by the Shatter or a solid Flux that we're going to be seeing right here, right now. Apostle, he's right into the middle of things. He's just going for it. That's going to be the spin to win here coming out from Norman, but he's going to get blown up. Kale had the flashbang ready and waiting, stuns him up and just shuts him down. And even though they had the ultimate, not going to be able to play it right. It's a matter of see if Arjun can get out there in time, but he's just doing as best as he can to wall ride his way around the Maywall and keeps himself nice and safe. And then Norman accidentally jumped off the cliff. So this is going to be even longer. 6-on-5 in Saints' favor. Queb's going to get caught out by Apostle's Shatter, and Apostle finds himself a triple just with a couple swings of the hammer. Nicely done. Queb laughing at that one. Quite the shot there. Three ultimates on the board, including the Blizzard, and that is absolutely brutal there. They just focused Apostle down like it was nobody's business, but that Blizzard placement was rather lackluster on the side of University of Ottawa. It is going to let them get the points, however, so in all honesty, it may not have been optimal, but it was effective, and it's going to force St. Clair to fall all the way back, 69-69, and it's going to be University of Ottawa take this one right back. G-Scales looking to fire that boulder at somebody, has the Flux available. If he can catch them all gathered up, this is going to be a huge Flux. That's 5 members going to eat half of their health, respectively. But can anybody else actually really follow up? Bailable and Kale? Yep, absolutely. I got your back, and that's exactly what we like to see. Everybody dropping here for the side of Ottawa. Bailable's the only one who ends up falling here. The Junkrat does get caught out, but everybody else here on the side of Ottawa is going to be melted. That being said, though, 99% on the board here for Ottawa. They win one more team fight, and they are going to be successful at taking this one and bring this to a round 3. That being said, though, Saints in a very good position to bring this back to 99 themselves. Available, good flanking. We see so much damage. Has a Rip Tire available. Can he find an opportunity to put it down? Has to watch out for 9. We're going to ride along here with this tire. Where is it going to be? Can he find a support player? He finds the DPS and Tundra outside of his mech, so it's going to instantly take care of him. prime timing there for Bailable. He goes down, but it's absolutely worth it. Just a matter of pushing off to Lucio, and St. Clair Saints managed to pull that one out of nowhere. Very close one from the University of Ottawa. That being said, though, St. Clair going to take game one. In true Reaper fashion, it's going to be KO find himself to play the game right at the tail end of this first round. Of course, he does get pushed aside there by the Lucio from Queb, but it did not matter. He had himself in such a good position that it just put himself up against the wall instead of getting pushed off of the cliff. So perfect timing there with the fire off that ultimate along, and a perfect team fight there overall for St. Clair to get them game number one. And a fantastic start to push themselves even further here into this bracket and see how far we can go here tonight. I know it's borderline 10 o'clock here right now. I think we're like halfway through the bracket, so it's going to be a long night with this rate, but we'll have to see nonetheless. Definitely looking forward to all this action, though. Will we go to Havana for the 4th game in a row on round 2? We'll have to see momentarily. This should not be Saints' pick this time by. It should be Ottawa, since they did go down in that first game. So we'll have to see moving forward. We know Saints are good at Havana. We'll have to see if that's end up where they end up picking. And it's going to finally be a switch up. We are going to be going to Dorado for game number 2. Finally switching things up a little bit. And real quick, of course, while we do have a breather in between games, big thank you to everybody tuning in. And also, if you could do me a favor, that would be absolutely legendary. Those with channel points. Currently, there is a thing going on in the chat. It says boost the stream if you're on PC. Otherwise, you have to go in the Twitch chat where your channel points are. But it says boost this stream. If you want to help me get some more eyes here on these players, on this team, and on this stream, just contribute some of the channel points that you've earned up by watching the stream. And it'll actually do me a massive favor and get a bunch more eyes on everybody if you're able to do that. So that'd be absolutely legendary if you can do it. Gonna get ready to hop into game number 2 right here, right now. Dorado, here we go. Okay, so yeah, so of course this is the first time we're going to be seeing this map here with this Saints composition. So we're going to have to see what kind of team comps are they planning on bringing out this time by. I already see Kale picking up the Tracer, which is something a little bit different for him. Normally he's got some sort of long range or some sort of different DPS character compared to the Tracer. Available, we've seen him on Widow before, but it's been very not hit or miss, but it's on rare occasion, to say the least. Our Junk, this is going to be the first time we're not seeing him on Lucio. Going to be pulling out the Ana here. 9 on Zenyatta. I think we saw that earlier. Apostle on Winston. G-Scales on the Zarya. Let's see what they can do. Up in the high ground, we do see the side of University of Ottawa. It's going to just stick there and hang on to that high ground. And an uncharacteristic snipe here. 9 on the Zenyatta. Going to take care of Norman's Ash as we hop right into the attack. Apostle completely fearless, jumping into that bunkered up area. And then this is the worst part to try to get through. We're going to have ourselves a quick seizure as we follow along with Kale here with the blinking style of Tracer, but trying to get through that corridor is probably the worst part of this entire map. It's so hard to just push through. You're constantly getting pinched out, but if you do overextend, you could get jumped on. Tundra getting saved by the invulnerability field, hangs on by a thread. That could have absolutely made things difficult. And we see Bailable taking to the skies and doing something a little bit different here. No longer on the Widowmaker, looking to play the Echo this time by Apostle. Just waiting on Q, wants to dive on in. Our Junk right there alongside him. No matter how far Apostle jumps in, he has backup. And I believe he now has the nano boost alongside it. So he is a tanky monkey diving on in here. And it's going to make things extremely difficult for University of Ottawa to try and deal with. So much damage. Granted, Apostle has to be careful. He's a little bit low, but our Junk should be able to reach him. 9 did end up going down in the battle, but it does not matter. Apostle is doing enough zoning to the point where the rest of the St. Clair squad could continue to push this cart forward and keep University of Ottawa kind of stuck in this awkward corner. Copper is there, however, the flanking from Kale is going to make things extremely annoying. You can only have that shield pointed one direction, and the Tracer is going to make it so that every direction you're looking, she is on the opposite. As we see, constantly going all over the place, just making its life completely difficult. And the Pulse Bomb to get the finishing blow. The battle right on the checkpoint. Saints are right on the just on the verge of getting themselves some more time here on the clock, and they are finally going to get it. This is going to be the first time we go to a second section in the Escort map all tournament long. More time on the board, 4 minutes, 20 seconds here for the Saints as they're blazing through this first section. And they find a couple stragglers as well. Who was that? That was Biggs trying to pull out the Tracer. Not quite going to get caught out this time. Bai does eventually get caught out. 9 again on the Zenyatta. Just finding these final shots. Of course, whether it be the single fire, or just like rather strong single hits, or oh, hang on a second, Arjunk, hello, beautifully done. Finding the sleep dart that's so hard to finally actually make contact with, and they make it look easy. Nice little follow-up there available as well. Makes it look good. Copper in for a world of hurt. Apostle's kind of away from his healers, however. Does have to watch how far he ends up going in. Tundra finds himself up on the high ground all by himself. And this is a very scatterbrained Ottawa composition. This team is an absolute shambles. Saints are in progress to try and get themselves this second checkpoint. And they have not been able to... or rather, the side of University of Ottawa have not been able to have a proper 5-on-5 or 6v6 in such a long time. Finally, Biggs is causing some trouble in the backline. Apostle's going to be forced to go in the Primal Rage. He does take care of Twig, so that is a solid pick to start things off. Copper, though, good shatter to shut things down. G-Scales still here to try and lead the Saints if need be, but it looks like the retreat is going to be in progress. Kale hanging on by a thread, does have Pulse Bomb available, does get out of dodge. 9 is here as well. So a couple players lost in progress, but just means Saints have to go regroup. And a lot of utility really wasted here for the side of University of Ottawa on that one play. They finally got themselves a solid defense, but they used next to everything. Tundra is the only one who has really anything. Meanwhile, you take a look at the side of St. Clair, they have 5 ultimates available. This is going to get nasty extremely quickly. They already blew up Queb, and we see the Graviton coming out here from G-Scales. Just going to go point blank here with them, why don't we? And just melt them all while they're right next to each other. This cart is going all the way to that second point. The team wipe success. Solid fight here for St. Clair. 2 points on the board. They now have 3 minutes and 30 seconds to try and push this through the center or under this little overpass, and right here on the third point. This is the full 3 captures on the board. They do that. They save whatever time they have left and hope that they can defend better than what Ottawa can, or just shut them down earlier. We'll have to see. 9 good transcendence there to keep everybody topped off. Granted, that was very close for Apostle. He did get smoked by Queb's grenade there, so he completely lost all healing. Has a solid sleep there as well there. Coming out here for Copper, or onto Copper rather, from Arjunk. Scatterbrained fight, and I'm a little scatterbrained myself as we go on further and further. Kale is going to get mowed down, however. Twiglu switching over to the Zenyatta for himself, finding that one. A very, very dangerous play, but makes it work anyway. Tundra picking off of the Zarya, going over to the Wrecking Ball, as of course still plenty of room here to try and make a difference, but at the same time there's still plenty of time on the clock. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Tundra going to go for the Pile Driver. It does not hit anybody, however. He is going to get a ton of damage. We have ourselves the Echo, and this is not Echo. This is going to be bailable, actually. Doing the ulti to get himself into a Winston for himself. Does some good damage and charges down Twiglu on the Zenyatta as well. There's absolutely nothing a Zenyatta can do in that position. And then just a few seconds later, back to flying in the skies here with the Echo. Beautifully done with that ultimate. Where's the rest of the Saints squad? However, they're right around the corner. G-Scales leading the charge here with the rest of the Saints. That is a nano-boosted Tracer as of this moment. That's Kale going in. basically point blank here. And that's going to force a Transcendence coming out here, but it was too late. Copper still does end up going down. Twigloo is there to try and defend as well here for the side of University of Ottawa. But G-Scales and Kale leading the charge. Apostle has returned to the fight. Dragon Strike coming on through from Norman. Is he going to be able to find any value from it? He does take care of the support line from St. Clair. So 9 Narjunk taken off the board. But who needs healing if you're not taking any damage? And right now, the tank line of G-Scales and Apostle are going in on this entire team, taking everybody down. There's nothing that they can do. And Kale's there in the back line alongside the Pulse Bomb. Shut down. 3 points to St. Clair.
Score 0-3. Switching sides. Initiating match.
Solid attack here for the side of the St. Clair Saints, being able to get all 3 points with 1 minute and 6 seconds left on the clock. So the University of Ottawa, they have to essentially match that or better that. Otherwise, that is going to be it. They have to try and get themselves at least 3 points to bring it to an overtime situation. But with the way the Saints have been playing so far, I'm not sure if they're going to even make it there. We'll have to see, however. We've not gotten to see University of Ottawa's attack here on Dorado, what kind of strategy that they're thinking about. In fact, let's take a look. Let's see what kind of stuff that they're looking at right now. Of course, got Copper and Tundra, the Diva Winston combo, respectively. Twigloo not going to be picking up the, whatchamacallit, the Baptiste this time, going to be on the Ana instead. Queb is going to be playing the Mercy. And then Biggs has played a couple DPS heroes as of this game, but is going to be picking up the Echo this time by. And that explains why Queb is playing the Mercy, of course, to give some additional damage boosts over. Meanwhile, where are the Saints? Sneaky, sneaky Saints. What are they looking for? They've done this before. It's never really worked. We're going to have to see. That shield very well might have blown their cover. So if they were trying to go for a sneak attack, it is not going to end up working in this scenario. But they're going to just try and defend from the low ground. Of course, they like that brawly style, but it is extremely risky here. I have yet to see it actually result in a team wipe in their favor, but they're going to try again. Apostle's going to be the first to end up going down. Tundra finds 9 as well, so this is not necessarily a fight that is going in the Saints' favor. And keep on trying as of this moment, though. We have available on the McCree, finds Copper, fires him down nice and quick after a good flash bang, but not quite going to be enough. Once again, the Saints are going to get melted here. I'm not quite sure why they keep trying that strategy, but if there's anything that I'll give them props for is that they're consistent. But it's okay, they still have plenty of time, but the big thing here is that they're going to get here pretty much at the exact same time as it gets into the archway. Can they properly defend it, or are they going to give up this section for essentially free? It looks like it is going to be essentially given up, so probably the hardest part to stop on this point has been passed without issue here for the University of Ottawa. Queb is going to get smoked here. Archunk on the Ana just picked him out of the skies. You love to see it. Nicely done. And it's going to be the Deadeye coming out here from Bailable. Find anybody? Not quite. Not this time. But it does not matter. The rest of the Saints have already mowed through everybody. And this area is nice and safe. They've gotten them off the cart, even though they let them go under the archway without issue. They're able to absolutely kill it in the next fight, so they make it work. They do have utility available. Kale on that Mei does have the Blizzard available. When is it going to come out? We'll have to see. Alongside the Graviton, not necessarily getting anybody here for G-Scales this time by. He's fully charged, however. So much extra damage there for the tank line. And it's going to be the Blizzard also coming on down from Kale, and it is slowly but surely going to be the victory here for this team. But it looks like for St. Clair. Tundra not going to be long for this world. Like I was saying, fully charged Zarya there from G-Scale is going to do so much damage, and it's going to keep the rest of the University of Ottawa away. Solid job so far. G-Scale's a little bit low, does have that shield to protect himself for at least a second though. Arjunk has the nano boost available. Apostle is right around the corner with that Primal Rage as well. A very common combo. As you see the monkey get nano boosted, we're going to see in just a second if that's exactly the case. Fires it up. It does end up using it, and I think he's on fire here. Charging on through G-Scales. Going to find 1 kill as well. Finds another one. Bailable going to get a piece of that one as well. Quib is caught flying in the middle of nowhere with no cover, and that is going to be so many members of University of Ottawa just getting melted down at this first point. They only have a minute left to actually even get to the first checkpoint, and a nice final fadeaway shot there from G-Scales on the Twiglu just to make this stagger hurt that much more. The fact that it's still like 50 seconds left and they have to wait even more for it to be a proper 6v6. Otherwise, they're going down or going into a fight a player down. Not a good scenario for the side of University of Ottawa. Apostle looking for the flank. That's going to be the nano boosted monkey coming out here. Copper looking to make his move. And Baleable looks to make a play with a Deadeye, but he gets himself absolutely smoked. 9 is there to make the res, though. We are going to see once again. Here comes Norman. He gets caught up in the Graviton while he's using his Dragon Blade. Absolute worst case scenario there for University of Ottawa. Shuts that down. Tundra is not going to be long for this world as well. Gets taken down. Apostle does get smoked, however. Where in the world is the rest of the Saints in this position? They're actually trying to go Battle Mercy here with Biggs in the front line. 9 going after Queb. He absolutely doesn't care. 9 is just going to go absolutely nuts to make sure that nobody could touch the cart. Shutout here for St. Clair Saints as they are able to take the 2-0 victory over the University of Ottawa and keep on going here in this Cheez-Its Grooves Collegiate Esports Invitational. Yeah, G-Scales finding himself the play of the game after getting that Graviton on the Genji. That was Norman, who already popped his ultimate, and it just all goes to waste because he was caught in that Graviton with nowhere to go. Good games all around. But unfortunately here for the University of Ottawa, that's their tournament run. That's it for tonight for them. And look forward to seeing them sometime again in whatever the next season, next league happens to be. But of course, for the hometown squad, big props, of course, to the St. Clair College squad as they get themselves yet another victory, their third here tonight, taking care of the University of Ottawa in 2-0 fashion, which means I think we still have another exclamation mark bracket in the chat. We'll bring up the bracket itself. We very well might be waiting on a losers match. Let's double check here. Ottawa Esports. Oh no, we go up against. Okay, so this one's going to be a tough one up next. So we're going up against UF Orange, which is currently being shown as the 6th seed. We did lose to the Miami Redhawks, which was the 5th seed here. So this is going to be yet another tough opponent coming up here for the Saints coming up next, and hopefully it will not have to be too long of a wait. I know the tournament organizers are starting to get a little bit more lenient for those matches that are in the lower bracket, starting as soon as everybody's ready rather than a set start time. So we should not have to wait too much longer for that. Of course, I have to give out a couple thank yous here for everybody tuning in, and also a big ol' shout out to our #1 fan here for Saints, of course, Sammy, for graduating this week. So big props to you and congratulations to everybody who's graduated from St. Clair over the past semesters or even in even past alumni. Big props, of course. That being said, we're going to be throwing ourselves momentarily to a quick break while we figure out how long we have to wait for the next matchup. And then, of course, if in regards to non-tournament action, there is still plenty more Saints gaming action coming up within the next couple days or within the next couple weeks. In fact, let's take a look at it real quick. It's going to be a lot of Rocket League. But of course we have 2 teams, so there's damn well going to be a lot of it. And of course Sunday coming up on the 20th, it's going to be our opponent in the AVGL Summer Series. Just waiting to see who our opponent is there. However, next Friday coming up on the 25th, the St. Clair Saints green team have a doubleheader, and it starts off with the University of Windsor, and then later on we go up against the Guelph Griffins. Definitely going to be a match or a night in general that you want to see. And then every Sunday from there, we do have AVGL Summer Series until August. Next week, we do have a break week for the OCRS, so that's why there's nothing on Friday. But then after July 4th, we'll be back to the regular schedule, seeing Rocket League on Friday as well. So if you have not done so already, make sure you are followed here on our on Saints Gaming CA Twitch channel. Make sure you catch all the matches live, and make sure that you Follow us on our social medias, of course. Saints Gaming CA on everything. Catch the full broadcast on our YouTube, or get the condensed versions here on Twitch, as well as all of the news from our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And of course, for anybody who also wants to possibly get out from behind the spectator screen and get themselves actually in the game, why don't you recruit? Or why don't you recruit? Why don't you sign up and apply here on stclairsaints.ca/join for the respective teams available and give it a shot. And like I said before, if you join us on Discord and you're looking to level up your production, your streaming abilities, whether it's an upcoming commentator, or you want to be an observer or a stream runner, by all means, regardless of your experience, I'm willing to train you. So be sure to join us on the St. Clair Saints Discord and give me a message, and we will get you all set up. So come September, we can get grinding, level you up, and you'll be up to speed in no time. With that, we're going to take ourselves a very, very, well, I don't want to say a very quick break, considering how things have been, but we're going to throw it to a break until the next match is ready. Thank you all again for tuning in, and we will see you on the next matchup versus UF Orange.